want to know my opinion and what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisa here and I'm back with a new video, and in today's video it's an interesting one that I've got for you guys today. So I'm going to be talking about pregnancy addiction, and I know you must be thinking, listen, it's a real thing. So there's this big YouTube content creator that goes by the Mezleen. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Listen, I wasn't subscribed to them, so it's this African American black woman who's with this Korean man. I thought so basically she's got one full black child and all the rest are biracial. I thought all the rest were to the Korean man, but she's got some kids that are half white. And I was just like, so basically she's on her ninth child and she's breaking the news to her eldest kids and they're just not here for it. The TikTok streets are divided as usual. Some people who have grown up in like huge households are like, listen, it's not fair on the other siblings, it's not nice. Pregnancy addiction is a real thing, and I'm speaking from experience. Listen, I'm a mama bear. I love being pregnant. It's the after bit. I hate giving birth, and I hate, the after bit, when the baby's dead tiny. Actually, I don't mind that stage. It's when they start crawling and I'm like over it, but I do love being pregnant. Just, your body changing. It is a lot. It's a lot. All the emotions and the cravings and everything you're going through. And obviously, this woman loves being pregnant because the fact that she's pregnant again, it's just like, and just the lead up, I'm gonna roll the clip, but just to lead up to telling her daughter that she's pregnant, it's like, it's nothing new. It's the ninth child, you know what I mean? You know, when people try and break it to their friends and family, like, guess what, guys, we're pregnant again. And it's just like, it's like a person that has a baby shower for every single. Is like, oh, here we go again. We're gonna have another baby shower, another gender reveal. Like, you've got a boy, you've got a girl. What are you actually looking for? Like, what's next? You know what I mean? But again, I know them. They're OGs on the YouTube world. I've never been subscribed. I don't subscribe to couples, but they're a huge interracial couple and they've just got bare kids. So then people are like, is she doing this for the check? The more kids you have, the more sponsors, because then you do all that baby content. I just feel like anyone that uses their kids for content is dead ass wrong. Like, you need to come up with some, you know what I mean? Come up with a niche by yourself and not rely on your kids because it's just unfair. But yeah, I'm gonna roll the clip and I will be back with my commentary.
Today I am 13 weeks pregnant. Oh my gosh, you guys. And now it is finally time for me to tell my kids the news. So today, that is what I'm about to do. I don't know how they're gonna react. I think some of them might be happy, some of them might be annoyed, some of them might be nothing. That's my anticipation, so let's see how it's gonna go. But first, I gotta cut this hair. Oh my gosh, my hair looks so bad. Okay, so I cut my hair down to this length, which is what I usually do, like with the clippers open. But I feel like it's not short enough, and like I have a lot of dandruff in my hair. So I'm gonna like cut it all the way bald. I don't like what this looks like yet. Oh, this hurts.
Have you cut it this short before? Like, yes. Recently?
Yeah, guys, so you just saw that. Sorry, I thought I had the clip where she initially tells her daughter, and I thought basically her daughter is not impressed. Her daughter she's a student, she's going to be moving to Korea soon, so she's not bothered because she's like, I'm not even going to be in the house. But the daughter's just basically like, ain't you busy? Like, you're always like walking around like, girl, I'm busy. I got all these kids. So the daughter's like, when do you find time to, you know, and create life? And she's just like, listen, yeah, we are busy, but and it's just like, yeah, she's just like, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, you're not gonna abort it, so here comes baby number 9, yay. But yeah, the comments doing research for this video were half and half. In the comments, a lot of people were like, stop policing her womb. It's giving Trump because Trump, he's very pro-life. So even if a woman wants to abort, he doesn't believe in that. Doesn't matter if you're great or you've been by a family member. in his eyes, you still have to keep that child. So a lot of people are, you know what I mean, going in on her and saying, you know what I mean, policing her womb. Listen, for me, do what you're doing. I'm not her husband. I'm not looking after these kids, you know what I mean? So unless you're in that family, you don't really have an opinion. The eldest daughter has an opinion because I'm sure sometimes growing up, she had to look after the younger one. So her opinion matters. As long as the kids are taken care of, she's not coming onto the internet, you know, looking all like, you know, trampy, disheveled, the kids are starving, the place is dirty. I did do a video on a 26-year-old that had 6 kids, and then she still was like currently pregnant. If you've not seen that video, do check it out. See, with that young girl, she was struggling. Her baby father wasn't really doing much, and her house was a mess, but she was coming on TikTok and doing little videos and stuff. So people were donating, and you know what I mean, things like that. But it does reach a certain point where you have to use birth control. You know what I mean? Again, I'm a mother of three. I'm on birth control. I don't want any more kids. So, you know what I mean? You have to take action. There's no point bringing more life and then you're just like, oh, you know, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, be an adult and take some precaution. And I just feel like with this family, when's it gonna stop? Like, what's the roundup number? Are you trying to round up and go to 10? You know what I mean? Fingers crossed, this could be twins. So then she'll be having 10 kids instead of 9. Like, it comes to that point, when are you gonna stop? Both my parents come from big families on both sides. So you can imagine, you know, the family gatherings, birthdays, weddings, funerals, like, it's huge on both sides, both of my grandmas, you know what I mean? A lot of people do say that as well, like, oh, my grandma had this many and da 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 da. Doesn't mean you have to, you know what I mean? My mom had 5 kids. I'm one away from having five, but I'm just like, no, I'm good. I don't need any more. I have a boy, I have a girl, I'm good. It's literally, it comes to a certain point. What are you actually like? What do you want? You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get into some people's reactions.
Today I am 13 weeks pregnant.
No hate to this creator, but I do wonder what is the point of having this many kids? Because I used to follow this creator a few years back, I think around like 2019 or something, and they already had like 6 kids or something. And, you know, every year you keep on making kids. And I just wonder if it's only for like the videos and the aesthetic, or if you genuinely want to have more kids. Because in my mind, and I'm speaking from my perspective because I come from a large family as well, I always wonder, like, how are you able to provide financially but also emotionally for every child? Because in my mind it's just impossible. You can be the best parent that you want, but from the moment that you have more than 5 6 kids, it just becomes impossible to be there for every child, you know?
Shout out to him, and I agree. Even me having 3 kids, just to split my time, it's hard. My youngest is 2, so obviously he gets a lot of my attention, but I do have a child with autism, so obviously he needs a lot of attention also. But just me with these 3 kids, 3, and she's having 9. It's hard. And I know with her, she's got a teenager, you know, she's got a young adult. I think her eldest is like 18, 19, you know what I mean? So I get when you've got older children, it's not as, you know what I mean? They still need your love, their, you know, your affection, the emotion. Again, financially, they need you as a parent. Like, once you're a parent for life, innit? But at the same time, especially with her daughter moving out, she doesn't have to give her as much time, you know what I mean, and emotions, you know what I mean. But yeah, I know there's that running joke, 2 under 2. I remember when the rapper Safari had 2 under 2. In the UK, they call it Irish twins because, you know what I mean? They're so close together. Rihanna with her boys, you know what I mean? You literally had them back to back. They're called Irish twins. So yeah, even that, it's a lot having 2 under 2, or you know what I mean, having like 4 kids under 5. That's literally you had them each year, like back to back. Like, that's crazy. It's too much. All my kids are 3 years apart, and even that, it's a lot. But yeah, it's too much. But I agree with him. He made some really good points. Again, he's speaking on experience. He grew up in a really big household. He's just like, financially and emotionally, where are you going to be able to be a parent for these children?
So, when are we going to start talking about pregnancy addiction? When are we going to start calling out pregnancy addiction? You know, that woman who's pregnant all year round, every year without fail. You know, the women who just lay up on their back, pushing out baby after baby after baby, as if we're still in the baby boom era. You know, the women who in fact love to make pregnancy their personality. The women who love to be the pregnant woman on the block. When are we going to start calling that out? Because as much as we're always on the Nick Cannons in the world, right? We're always on the men that are out there having baby after baby after baby. There are women that are doing the exact same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. And just because those kids hopefully are all under the same roof when we're talking about the mother, that does not make it any better. Because I guarantee you, each one of those children are receiving a different kind of mom. Because once you start hitting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're either addicted to making babies or you see babies as easy money / content. Because I just seen the pregnancy reveal, right, of Carissa Collins, the Collins family, right? It's a white woman, a black man, and they're on their 12th child, and the 3 eldest children, all visibly, you could see that they were not happy. They were not happy with that announcement because those are the kids that are the co-parents. They're not children anymore. They're co-parents. And this is what I mean by when are we going to start addressing pregnancy addiction? Because at this point, when you are bringing in 12 kids, and again, it's 2025. What the fuck do you need 12 kids for? No offense. Even if you have the money, do you have the time? Do you have the time and the capability to be able to address each and every one of those individual needs for those 12 kids? Because they all need to have their needs met. Every single one of them. There's no way that you can have 12 kids under one roof and you're giving every single one of those children the same exact amount of attention, especially if you have 3 that's under the age of 3. Because they're going to demand all of your time. Those are the ones that are actually being parented. You understand? The eldest children are now co-parents. They've now become co-parents. They don't even have a childhood anymore. And the middle kid, because they're in that awkward phase of when they're not little kids anymore, but they're not old enough to actually hold the responsibility of becoming a co-parent, they get ignored. They get ignored until they are old enough to become a co-parent, and then they get responsibility. Yes, all of those children have shelter. All of them have clothes on their backs. All of them have food in their mouth and their bellies. But are their emotional needs being met? Do they actually feel like they have a mother and a father, or do they feel like the mother or the father? Because every time I hear about a woman on her 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th pregnancy, I immediately think to myself, you don't want children, you want babies. You're addicted to babies. You understand? And there's a difference between being a baby and being somebody's child. See, to be somebody's child, that is a lifelong title. Regardless of if you are an infant child, if you are a small child, or if you are a grown child, you'll always be somebody's child. But a baby is only a phase in a person's life. That's a phase. It will run out. It will be done at one point in somebody's life. But that's the phase that I believe that they're addicted to, the baby phase, because that's also when you can do whatever, whenever. No offense. A baby could be crying because their toe itches, but you can say they're hungry. He's hungry. Do you see the level of control that I'm kind of like trying to gear you towards? Like, you cannot convince me that it's not an addiction. Even the I think her name is Mezleen, the Black or African and Asian couple. She's on her 9th kid. She also did a reveal. Mind you, she got her PhD. She's literally a doctor. Why would you want to get pregnant right before you go into your field? Right before you're finally finished. You did everything. You got your PhD. Why the fuck would you get pregnant again? Why? And the thing about it is, every time that they do these pregnancy reveals, they're the only ones that are happy. Nobody else is fucking happy. Anybody that has sense to know what the fuck is going on and what's about to happen, none of them are happy. So it's either addiction or you keep having these kids because you see them as easy money. Whether it's because of the tax return or because of the content that you know that you can get off of them. No offense, we see this a lot. I even saw it with the Fullen, what is it? The Fullen couple, where they're now a family of 4 or a family of 5. They have 4 kids. I remember when she was announcing the pregnancy for the last kid, the baby, I think Haley, the eldest did not look happy. They didn't look happy because it's like, you having all of these babies, and you think that your job is done after the kid hits, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, because now you start to see them as semi-independent. They can at least get dressed, brush their teeth, do all of these things. They go to school. That's actually when they need you the most. That's actually when they need you the most. That's when they need you the most. Emotionally, they need you the most. But here you are physically draining yourself because you're addicted to the fucking baby stage, or you just keep having babies because you see it as being profitable. Like, you see it as content now. Like, it's not even a thing about you had the babies really out of love. Like, you making them because you're like, oh, I know that baby content sells and I get views, so let's just push out another baby. And because y'all see it as something that it's free to do. As long as you have the parts, he has the parts, y'all could keep making as many babies as you want. And you keep doing it. But I promise you, only the mom that has the pregnancy addiction, the baby addiction, is happy about being pregnant. Everybody else, just look at their faces in the videos. They are not happy about it. They're not happy about it. So yeah, like I stated, we always are on the Nick Cannons. We're always on the men that are out here fathering a whole bunch of children. There are women that are doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And at least, I don't know what's worse, actually. I don't know what's worse. Being all under the same roof and watching your parent not be that parent for you, but for the other kids, for the younger kids, or just having an absentee parent that's just never there. I don't know what's fucking worse. I think, honestly, as somebody who grew up with the first part, it's worse to see the parent actually be that kind of parent, but not for you, but to the other kid. Because then it stops being a thing of you are not capable. You are 100% capable. You just cannot or will not give it to me. And that fucks with the kid, because it fucked with me. I'm in therapy because of it. It fucks with the kid on a different level. So trust me when I say we need to start calling them out, because they are just as fucking detrimental to the child's actual upbringing. It's not just the men. It's not just the men.
Ooh, jeez, where do I start? She touched on so much. I felt she was quite triggered and pressed. But like she stated at the end, she's currently in therapy because of this. So again, a lot of people that have grown up in big households are speaking and sharing their experiences. I like the breakdown. It's either you're addicted to being pregnant or you love that baby stage. Those two things there are me. I love being pregnant and I love when the baby's tiny. Once they start crawling, I'm over it. I'm like, again, sometimes people see newborns and then you know what I mean, the cravings come and they're like, oh my gosh, you forget about the labor and all that pain. You're like, oh my gosh, I want a baby again. So there's that part. I agree. The middle child gets forgotten about. That's why there's this term called middle child syndrome. You're not old enough to take care of yourself and to co-parent, and you're not young enough that you get the attention and the emotion and the affection that you need. So you kind of just get lost in the sauce. You're just kind of there. Your parents probably only check on you when you're like really upset or you've hurt yourself or you're not doing good in school. But other than that, you quite get forgotten about. I agree. When there's so many children, running around doing whatever, your main focus is the one that's free and under, which makes sense because they're learning to feed themselves. You're working them off nappies. You know what I mean? Like, they do need your attention more, but why have more than you can handle? Again, she just got her degree in becoming a doctor or a master's. Why would you know what I mean, want to be a stay-at-home mom all over again? Because with this amount of kids, how are you going to be a doctor and be a mother? You know what I mean? Can she do it? Yeah. But I know her husband works. So it is having all these kids, it's like, who's going to look after them? Because not all of them are in school or in nursery. And then again, with nursery fees and then having this many kids, what's the point of having them if you're just going to stick them in nursery? I'm not saying she has to be a stay at home mom, but at the same time, why are you going to have all these kids to just, put them out into the world? Like she stated, you literally just got your master's. Why would you want to do this all over again? Like, and that's me. That's the reason why I don't want to have no more kids, because it's literally like, I'm trying to get my life back. I'm trying to be like Stella gets her groove back. Shout out to Angela Bassett. you've not seen that film, do check it out. It's a good one. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how old this woman is, but she's definitely grown. I would definitely say she's older than me. So, like she stated, yeah, we all know that person in the hood or around the way that's known for having kids laying on their back, yada yada yada. My neighbor, she's a mother of three. All three of her kids have different fathers. They're all different colors, different shades. That's what she's known for. No shade, but that's the choices she's made. I could never. All my kids come from one man. You know what I mean? I could never. But again, I definitely agree with that. We all know that one person that's just good for laying on their back. You'll see them 1 minute, they're with a newborn baby, then the kid's getting older, and then they're pregnant again. It's just like, sis, like, it's time for you to get a, you know what I mean, go back to work, or just let your kids grow and just give them all the love and attention and financial, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, when you have all these children, you can't give them that extra curriculum or, you know, that extra sports. Listen, my daughter's doing gymnastics, and just her on her own, it's expensive, you know what I mean, paying this every month. My youngest, he's showing signs that he wants to do gymnastics, you know, he's on the trampoline, he's jumping, backflipping. So as soon as he's old enough, I guess I have to put him, like, just them two on their own every month is looking like £60. In today's climate, I'm sorry, that's a lot, you know what I mean? But imagine having 9 kids and you have to put them in something, learning an instrument, sports, learning to swim. You know what I mean? Every kid should have that opportunity. But again, financially, you might be a bit strapped because you're a mother of 9, and then you have to explain it to this kid if they want to do swimming, and you're like, oh well, mommy can't quite afford it. Da, 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 da. Could this just be for content? Like she said, some women, that's all they are. Like, they're known to be mothers. They haven't got anything to show for it. They haven't got any other talents. All they know is to breastfeed, push out a baby, lay on the back. That's their thing, which is, that's fine, to each, you know what I mean? To each its own. But like she stated, this woman's just got a master's. Why would she just start it all over again? Again, we need to stop coming for these men, because people do go in on Nick Cannon. NBA boy, he's just about to have his 13th, but maybe 14th kid. His wife's currently pregnant, and then Yaya Mayweather might be pregnant. So this is what I mean. These rappers, Little Dirk, you know, he's got bare kids. Listen, we always be coming for these men and these rappers, but again, even though these women are married, so that's one good thing that they're married, but still, it's just like, when's it gonna stop? So, like I stated, this woman, her clapback was lengthy, and she's done a part 2. So let's get into part 2.
So it's official now. Listening and comprehension is a lost art. It's a lost skill, right? Because every day on this motherfucking app, you motherfuckers are proving to me that this generation is cooked. Nobody is listening to understand. Motherfuckers is listening to respond. Because a couple of days ago, I made a video addressing pregnancy addiction or breeding kink, whatever you want to call it, and stating how society normally is always villainizing the men that are out there fathering a lot of children. However, there are women that are doing the exact same thing, that they're out there having a whole bunch of children. And when I say a whole bunch of children, I'm talking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 even, okay? I also asked in that video, outside of the basic needs, and I'm talking about food, shelter, water, clothes, are every child's individual emotional needs being met? Because if you are one mother to 12 children, or to 6 children, 7 children, 8 children, you have to address every single one of those children's individual needs and understand these children are also in different stages in their lives. Ask yourself, is the average parent or parents financially, mentally, emotionally, physically set with a community and a support system in order to give the child the upbringing, the environment that they need that is conducive for a healthy childhood, for a healthy upbringing? More times than not, that is not the case. Statistics even show that in smaller families, that is not the case. And those are all of the resources that are needed in order to make sure that that child has an actual shot of having a healthy upbringing. And if the statistics are showing that this is something that is hard for smaller families to check off all the boxes for, what the hell makes you think that larger families are able to accomplish it? Not taking away from some of the families that are equipped. And again, to be equipped, you need to be financially, mentally, emotionally, physically set with community and a support system. These are all the things that you need in order to maintain not just any family, but especially a larger one. And because these are all of the resources that you need for just one child, when you are one mother that is on their 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th child, are you actually able to give that and provide that to every single child? Because if the answer is no, now these children are being neglected. And if you knew at the 4th child mark or the 2nd child mark or the 5th child mark that you could not do it, you continuing to have children and produce more children is purely self-motivated. It's purely selfish. You're not doing this because you actually care about taking care of the kids. You're doing it because it's feeding something in you now. And can you believe, from me stating all of that, I really have motherfuckers in my comments talking about that's what women are made for. That's your legacy. You're projecting. Why are you body shaming women? 12 kids is a blessing. You don't know what people are capable of. Stay the hell out of married people's business. And I have an answer for every one of them. So let's get to the first one, right? That's what women are made for. Can you believe it? These are not even men that were writing these comments or writing this. These are all women. These are all comments from women, other women, right? Stating that's what women are made for. It's 2025. Women are way more capable of just being baby making machines, okay? We're way more capable of being baby making machines. We have way more to provide and to contribute to society than just children. Thank you. And just to piggyback off that, that's what women are made for, but at what cost? At what cost? You want to bring a child into a system that you don't even feel safe in, that you don't even feel secured in, knowing that you're going to leave them in that system alone? At what cost? To the second one, that's your legacy. I hate to break it to you. If you think that you having children is a legacy, you are wrong. You have no legacy. You actually didn't do shit with your life, okay? You want to know some people who have legacies? Kobe, Michael Jackson, Rosa Parks. These are all people who have legacies, okay? Harriet Tubman, legacies. Do you know what any of their children are up to right now? No, we don't fucking know. You want to know why? Because that's not legacy. That's lineage, dumbass. If you thought that your biggest contribution to the world is the children that you had, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to be left in that fucking family tree because that's all you did. You added to the population, but you didn't add to society. So there's nothing to remember you about, for. And to make matters worse, the longer and the more your lineage grows, the more forgotten you become. You understand? All you contributed towards was the family tree, so that's where you will stay, in the family tree, if they talk about you. To the people that said that I'm projecting, my mother only has 2 children. She has 2 children, okay? She knew when to fucking stop. She knew when to stop. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. The other one, why are we body shaming women? Not once did I ever shame a woman who is actually capable of taking care of her multiple children. I shout out, salute, actually, all of the women that are out there taking care of their multiple children, whether they have 3, 4, 5, 6, they're actually doing that, okay? There were some people in my comments that said, listen, I come from a family of 7, 8, 9, but my mama did that damn thing, okay? My grandmother was there. My aunt was there. We had a support system. We had a team. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of the times, even in smaller families, they don't get that, okay? Like, my mom had somewhat of a support system, but there were times where she really was a single mom. And this is happening in smaller families. So imagine what type of neglect is going on when one mother to freaking 9 kids has no support system, has no community, has to deal. Guess what? The eldest children become parentified. Another woman wrote, to be able to have 12 kids is a blessing. Yes, again, at what cost? At what cost? You are bringing 12 children into a system that you yourself do not even feel safe with. We are literally watching this government and this administration just here in America alone F everybody over, screwing everybody over. You want to keep adding kids into a system that you don't even feel safe for, a system that you will be leaving them to deal with by themselves at one point because you shall perish. Okay? They're going to be left there by themselves. You want to continue bringing in fucking little boys and little girls that are getting alived by our law enforcement. You want to continue to bring in little boys and little girls into a system that does not protect them. You want to have a daughter in this day and age where she would literally be forced to carry a child to full term, even in the situation of rape or a molestation, any of those things. What type of system is that? At what cost? Where is the benefit of bringing 12 kids into a system like that in today's time? Somebody else wrote, oh, you don't know what people are capable of. I'm sorry, but we're seeing a lot of it being posted in real time, in real life for us to see. And the statistics, from what it looks like, the odds are there are more families that have a lot of abuse going on in the household. And it's not always just physical. It's not always, oh, they're being malnourished. A lot of their emotional needs, some of them are being emotionally fucking abused. Some of them are really being neglected. A lot of them are over here playing mommy and daddy when they need a mommy and daddy. Do you see where I'm trying to get you guys towards? Like, where I'm trying to make you think, like, you see what I'm talking about? Another person said, oh, I need to stay out of married people's business. I have a bone to pick with people like you, because in 10 years from now, when those children have documentaries and they're talking about all of the neglect that they sustained while being in that type of environment, you're going to be the first person to open your mouth and be like, oh my God, it's a shame that woman had all those fucking kids knowing she couldn't take care of them. And this is what we're talking about. What do you mean stay out of married people's business? I don't give a damn what they're doing in their bed. They could, or whatever they're doing in their home. The problem is they're bringing live people into the mix. They're bringing children into the mix, knowing damn well that they cannot take care for them. And I feel like anybody who has empathy, who has sympathy, is going to care about that. Why don't you? Why is your first instinct to be like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. Sometimes you got to speak for those who can't speak. You got to speak up for the voiceless. Now, going back to my previous statement, listening and comprehension is definitely a lost art. It's definitely a lost skill. And I don't know what you motherfuckers got to do, but get it the fuck together.
Ooh, it's getting heated in part two. Now when people are like, oh, you need to, mind your business of married women and what they do. Listen, and when you bring anything, your children, your babies, your relationship, soon as you bring it to the internet, this is what happens. Look, I'm speaking about it on my channel. She's giving her 2 cents. People are gonna talk. You see, these people only like it when it's positive and people are sending them gifts, money. But as soon as you're being critical about it, or you're literally stating your opinion, or you think this is wrong, oh, you're a hater, you need to mind your business. But when people are sending gifts, it's like, oh yeah, send me money, send me, like, everything's good. So you know what I mean? You can't put something out there and you think it's just gonna go one way. Like, there's positive and there's negative. I agree with this woman. So I don't understand why she's getting so vexed about it. Like, it's not that deep. And again, I thought she was speaking on experience, and I think a lot of people did. So that's why the people wrote in the comments, and she's like, my mum wasn't stupid. My mum only had 2 kids. I was just like, ooh. So she is, I don't want to say she's overreacting, but she is very, you know what I mean, emotionally pissed about this. But again, I guess she's speaking up for the voiceless. So I agree with that. A lot of these kids can't really express and say what they really want to say. Again, her eldest kids, the look on their faces, their reaction, they were just kind of like, you do that big sigh, like they're just over it, they're tired, they're probably like, when's this gonna stop? And you as a child, you can't step to your mother or parent and be like, when you're gonna stop, doing the do, you know what I mean? Don't be so rude, you know what I mean? So again, I get it, her being a voice for the voiceless. I agree. We all know black women are more likely to pass or, unalive during childbirth. So even her being on a knife child, anything could happen to her, you know what I mean, in hospital. And God forbid if something did happen, that would be her leaving all these 9 kids without a mother. It's just things like that. For me, again, it's the extra activities, swimming, gymnastics, holidays. I'm trying to take my kids. I like to fly out every year, one with my friends or with family, and the second holiday with my children. The more kids you have, the less likely you're gonna be able to go on holiday. Like just the flights, just for my kids alone, the numbers are crazy. So I couldn't imagine having 9 kids trying to fly out, trying to just do the simple stuff, go to a fun fair. Like financially, you need to be up. Again, it's not always about finance, it's about the emotion. Like it's impossible for you, one human being, to share yourself with so many little human beings at so many different stages in their life, and for you to be that happy present mother. It might be the time of the month, you might be stressed about bills, or maybe your marriage is going through something. When you're stressed, kids can pick that up, and then sometimes you take it out on the kids. You don't mean to, but you know what I mean? It's called life. Again, we're all human beings, we all make mistakes, we all snap, shout, you name it. No one's a perfect parent with no kids or with loads of kids, or you know what I mean. No one's perfect, but I definitely agree, and I do understand why she's so passionate, but it's just the way. But I feel like people in the comments, like she said, listening is a lost, you know what I mean, it's a lost art. Like people are not listening and getting what she's stating. Like she stated, she never touched on her body, she never touched on their marriages. She's just touching on how many, you know what I mean, how many kids they're having. And again, people are always coming for the rappers and Nick Cannons. Listen, the other day, well, this was probably earlier this year, Nick Cannon went viral because he has 12, I believe, 12 or 13 kids. And he was speaking to the interviewer, and she was like, "Oh, what are their names?" And I think he only knew the twins that he has with Mariah Carey, and he couldn't remember the name. She was shocked, and she's like, "You don't know your children's name?" And then he was like, "Oh, you name me 12 things." And I was like, Nick Cannon, I can name you 12 countries. Let's go, guys. So we got A for Angola, B for Belgium, C for Canada, D for Denmark, E for Egypt. I'm on 5. I'm trying to do it in order because I'm teaching my daughter. So after E we got F for Finland, G for Ghana. Gosh, I'm not knowing my alphabet. A B C D E F G H. H for Hungary, I for India, J for Jamaica, G G for Ghana. But you get my point. Like the fact that Nick Cannon couldn't even remember his own children's names is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, with Nick Cannon, a lot of men are like, well, he's rich. It doesn't matter how many kids he has. And it's like, it doesn't always go down to money and finance. Like, there's more to life than that. Creating memories. Again, he's always there when it's their birthdays and, when they're having baby showers. But Christmas is only on one day, yeah. With Nick Cannon, he has like kids in nearly every single state in America, being dramatic. But, it's impossible, private jet or not, it's impossible for him to spend time on Christmas Day with each child. Can you imagine at one point being in the East Coast and then he's got to go all the way to the West Coast and then he's got to go all the way down to the South? Like it's literally impossible. So then again, that kid's feeling some type of way. It's like, oh, dad didn't spend Christmas with me. It's for me with kids, yeah, it's very simple. They want your time, affection, and they want to make memories and that bond with you. Me speaking as an adult, I remember certain things from childhood, obviously good and bad. You always remember when your parents either took you to the fair or you did a picnic. Like, trust me, it's simple stuff, playing football in the park, playing a bit of tennis. It's all those little things, all those little memories that they hold on to and will remember. I love taking my daughter to gymnastics. Listen, it's on the weekend, so after doing the school run through the week, obviously I'm tired. But you know what I mean? I've always wanted her to get into the sport. She enjoys it. The little time we have there, I love it with her. When she gets older, you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I mean? She turns into a little pro and she'll be like, thanks for taking me, mum. Thanks for believing in me. You know what I mean? I always think of Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter. Shout out to his parents that took him to that audition, because after Harry Potter, he blew up and his life was never the same again. He's been in so many other great movies, and yeah, he's a good actor. But it all started with his parents believing in him. I don't know if he did acting classes or he literally just went for the role of Harry Potter and got it. But shout out to his parents, and yeah, you have to put your kids into, you know what I mean, extra activities and believe in them. King Richard's, Serena Williams' dad, shout out to him. He always believed in his daughters. Even though he had others, he always wanted Venus and Serena to play tennis. He went hard for them. He believed in them more than they believed in themselves. People tried to take the piss out of them. He was like, nah. So again, the way Serena Williams are now, we wouldn't have them like this if it wasn't for their dad. So shout out to King Richard. But yeah, I feel a passion, but yeah, like at what number do you stop? You know what I mean? This is a legacy. She made me laugh. She's like, no, Michael, Kobe, Prince, all these people, they're legacy, but they're not legends because of how many kids they had. They're legends because what they did for the black community, black history, to the world. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson is known worldwide. Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean? His death, rest in peace. It still hurts till today. It's nothing to do with their with their children and how many kids they had or their marriages. It's about the craft, the art that they left. Obviously, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, what they did for black people. Nothing to do with having kids or having a man or a woman. Like, I feel like some people get confused. And again, when a person, I feel like we're all talented, but sometimes people just don't know their talent. So what they think is, I'm just going to have all these babies. And then when a person's like, oh, what do you do? Or like, what do you feel like you're leaving behind in the world? They'll be like, my kids. I'm like, no offense. I know certain people struggle to have kids, but at the same time, it's not hard to have kids. People have a one night stand and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm pregnant. So to say your kids are a legacy, it's just kind of like, you wasted your life. You know what I mean? There's more to life than just popping out babies. You know what I mean? You have people like, look at Beyonce. Let's use Beyonce. Beyonce's a mother, and we all know Beyonce for being that B, Queen B. You know what I mean? She's just wrapped up selling out another tour, but she's still a mother and she's a wife. But you know what I mean? She's not just a mother. So when people say, oh, I'm just a mother of 10 kids, and it's like, that's it. Like, there's more to life than just laying on your back and just birthing. And especially when your kids are not shit. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have parents or a lot of celebrities and their kids are just like, just nightmares or, alcoholics, they're into drugs. It's quite embarrassing because they've had the good upbringing, 2-parent household, they've gone to the finest schools. So for you to end up like this, it's like, why? Like, you know what I mean? But shout out to her. I agreed with a lot of stuff that she said.
Mezleen family's oldest kid's reaction to their mom's pregnancy reminded me so much of Carissa Collins' oldest kids' reactions to their mom's pregnancy. This was the reaction from the eldest kids in the Mezleen family.
What's wrong, Maya?
Are you serious?
Lima. No. How many kids do I have?
Yes, 8.
You didn't want on the way, so I have 9. How many kids do you have?
Okay. Again. And this was the eldest reaction to Carissa telling her eldest kids that she's once again pregnant after having already 11 kids.
You said 12 children. You guys. Yay! Yeah, mommy, Mom, I knew it!
I don't know what I'm gonna have, but yes, I'm pregnant. A lot of people feel like if these families are able to financially take care of all of these kids, then there shouldn't be a problem with having a big family. And when I mean a big family, I don't mean 5, 6, 7 kids. I mean reaching the double digits and surpassing them. And the thing is, even if you feel like it is perfectly fine, the reactions from eldest kids in these very large families show that that might not be the best choice to make. My biggest concern is the eldest siblings taking on a parental role for their younger siblings because of their parents having so many young ones and not being able to watch them all on their own. So the eldest kids have to step up and also help with watching and looking over the younger ones. And you give everyone the same amount of time and attention, because especially in Carissa Collins' family's case, her children are more close together in age and none of them have reached adulthood yet, and she's popping out babies back to back to back, and a lot of times those kids and younger kids need more attention, leaving the eldest children without the same amount of attention being brought to them. And I remember seeing the first season of the Duggar Family. When they came on TV, they had like 14 kids, and all of the older kids were helping with the younger kids in playtime and their education and taking care of them. A lot of them took on a parental role, even though they'll say that like they liked being in a big family. They, as eldest siblings, had to pick up the slack because their parents could not realistically take care of all of those kids. And everyone has the free will to do whatever they want with their lives. It's just looking at the logistics and having a very large family.
Well, guys, there you have it. There's the reaction, the one that I was talking about. So, do you see how the daughter was in both different families? Like, they're just not impressed. And even with my mom having 5 kids, I'm the youngest. But my eldest sister, so we're 12 years apart, and even sometimes growing up, she would help out my mom with me. You know what I mean? If my mom had to run off to work or go down the road to get some extra food, or you know what I mean, she would leave me with my sister, with my brother. So even though my family wasn't as big as these kids, you can only imagine the role that the eldest children have to take on, and it's by force. If you're still living in that house and you've not moved out, you are a co-parent. It could be maybe when your mum's not feeling well or she needs to rush back to work. If she's running late for the school run, she'll ring you like, go and pick up your sister or go and pick up your brother. Like, it's literally by force. You have no choice. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with what she was saying. See, with this woman, yeah, this white woman with the biracial kids, obviously the ages are a lot closer. There's more of them. It's literally just back to back, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like when's it gonna stop? And her eldest, you know, what I mean, you just seen in that clip her reaction, and then the other kids, you know, some kids are like, I knew it, and then the other kids are like, oh, like it depends. Obviously, the kids are like, oh man, not another one. You can tell they're the kids that probably don't get enough affection, enough attention. So they know another baby coming into the family is like, great, I'm going to get pushed even further back. You know what I mean? You always have the kids that are the quiet ones or are feeling some type of way, but they never show it or speak up. But yeah, that's who I feel sorry for at the end of the day. I feel sorry for the kids, man, because they're the ones that have to grow up and then later on in life they're coming out again with these documentaries or they're like, oh, I hated my childhood because, you know, all the bunk beds, you know what I mean? Because what house is big enough to hold all these children also? You know what I mean? You're never going to get your own room. You had to share your room. You know, the girls have their room, the boys have their room. You know what I mean? And you know, with these bunk beds and sharing a room, there's just never any privacy.
Okay, I'm seeing this on Twitter and I'm seeing the commentaries behind it. And I'm gonna move out of the way and read the caption. It says, telling my 5 kids I'm pregnant with baby number 9, and she is 13 weeks pregnant. And this is by Mezleen. This one hurts, and I don't want to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it. I'm so torn because I used to be a Mezleen fan. Back in the day, you guys remember, if those of you who like to follow interracial couples on YouTube, I used to watch Britpop Princess, now known as Patricia Bright. I watched Jamie and Nikki. I watched Mezleen. The other ones I used to watch are kind of, I wasn't watching them as avidly as these 3. But there were a few others that are, their faces are coming up in my head, but not quite the names of their channels. But yeah, I watched a lot of those channels back towards the start of YouTube. And how do I say this nicely? I don't believe that people need to have this many children. But I understand it is not my business how many kids people have. I can recognize that it's not my business how many kids people have. But I feel like once you pass 4, in my personal opinion, once we pass 4, I feel like we're pushing it. Once we pass 6, I feel like this is getting ridiculous. You know, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, you're on number 9 now, right? And maybe I could have, and again, I don't know her from a can of paint. I used to watch her channel. I don't anymore. I did see snippets of her oldest daughter going to college and doing her own little vlog, and you know, it was a cute vibe. And I nothing against the family. I could tell that, you know, they really tried hard to put a positive image on the internet. Why was I reading the quote tweets of the tweet that posted this? Because I haven't watched Mezleen in forever. I didn't even know she was on baby number 9 now. I knew she had 8. And I clicked on the video and I started watching the video where she announces to her kids that she's pregnant with baby number 9. And after a while I clicked off the video and I'm like, I'm not even going to give her the views for the full video. And you want to know why? Because she hasn't named baby number 8. All the rest of them babies have names. And we could talk about those names another time. That's not the point of this video. She has 8 children. The last one that was born is 2 years old. Number 2. 2 years old. And that boy still does not have a name. And I'm very concerned. I guess for me, I'm a little concerned with a family that is more passionate about creating babies than taking the care of the ones that are already here. What do you mean that you have a baby that doesn't have a name yet? And that baby's old enough to talk? That baby is old enough to talk and he doesn't have a name? Are we being for real? Because I knew that she was waiting to kind of decide on his name, and while that kind of practice is not for me, the way I have 0 prospects on children, and I promise you, I have all my kids' names written out. I don't play about that. I have all my kids' names written out of different combinations, just in case, you know, if their father doesn't like what I've chosen. There are multiple options of names that I will tolerate. Right, so there will be none of this, oh, we can't decide on the name. Y'all might, if I ever have children, you won't hear about it till they're born, but there will be a name. But I'm just confused as to how, I knew she wanted to wait and I knew she wanted to decide on the name after he was born and all that. But I'm watching the video, I'm like, this baby's old enough to walk. He's old enough to talk. He's old enough to reason and to understand the concept that you are having another child. I can't understand the concept of somebody birthing another baby and the last one still doesn't have a name. And I've been reading the quote tweets of this video. Not the video specifically. Somebody screenshot this TikTok video and posted it on Twitter. And I've been sending my friends some of the quote tweets. Yeah. So another person said, I won't put their name on there, but I'm reading the tweet, right? Another person says, I remember when she, the lady from Mezleen, announced baby number 6 or 7, and his mom, Joe's mom, asked them if they knew what a condom was. And that person said that is the first thing that came out of her mouth, and she apologized later. And I'm thinking, you have so much. Now, mind you, I understand her life went in a different direction. I know she had 1 child. I believe that one was out of wedlock. I can't remember the oldest one, the full black one. Then she had, I believe, 3 children with her white ex-husband. And now she has another, 4 now? 4 or so? Because this is number 9. So there was a full black child, that's 1. 3 half white ones, so that's 4. I must have been, maybe I'm missing something, because there must be more children than I remember. Because I remember there was she had 2 Blasian babies, if I remember correctly, but that only brings us up to 6. Okay, clearly I'm behind, because I guess I haven't seen all the kids in a while. So she must have more of the Blasian ones than I have seen. But I'm sitting here and I'm confused, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I think it's very bad juju to birth a child when the one before it doesn't have a name yet? How do you have a living soul on planet Earth that doesn't have a name? Because I literally was watching the video where she announces on YouTube that she announces her baby number 9, and she did not call him by a name. He still hasn't got a name because all the kids have made up names that start with an A, and that one doesn't have a name yet, and she's pregnant with another one. And it's like I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, how busy are you in life that you can't name your child? I understand. I think she got her PhD a few years back and stuff, and okay, you're enjoying married life and stuff, but I'm very disturbed by the fact that her baby boy doesn't have a name, and then she's birthing another one. I truly believe that's a form of child neglect, not naming your child. Like, I don't know, man. And then once you start having more kids than parents, especially the more that you start to have, it's like I start to wonder, like, how much time, care, and attention can you as the parents give your children? If it's 2 of you and there's 9 kids, right? So this is baby number 9 kids. Hi. I clearly missed a few of them. I haven't been following her for a while, so I missed a few. Last time I saw her, she was on 6 kids. So clearly there's another 2 that I'm not aware of. But this second last one, at number 8, doesn't seem to have a name yet. And I'm sorry I keep harping on this, but I'm just... What do you mean? You've birthed the child and the child doesn't have a name? And the child's almost 2 years old. What do you mean? And you're pregnant with a new one. What do you mean? Am I the crazy one? Am I the crazy one? I feel like if you don't have time to name your last child, you don't have time to bring another one in this world. Because I was about to watch and give them the views and say congratulations, but I'm stuck on the fact that number 8 still doesn't have a name. Like, I can't take this seriously at all. Like, how are you showing that you are caring and truly investing in these kids' future if you're not even taking the time to name them? I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. I'm very disturbed. But who am I? I'm just a random person on the internet running their mouth, you know? But I also think of, like, the parents probably don't have enough time to take care of these kids, and it's probably going to fall on the older children. Personally, I think having this many children is kind of a form of abuse. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, shout out to her. She made some really good points. I hope she's capping with the almost 2 year old that still doesn't have a name. Hey, listen, in the UK, once you take your baby home, you've got like a month or just under a month to get them registered. If you do not get that child registered, the authorities are banging down your door because they're like unknown. You might be calling them something at home, but it needs to go down on record. They need to get their birth certificate, the whole stamp. So then they have their NHS number and all that kind of good stuff. So they're official. They're not official until they get registered. So the fact that this child is almost 2 years old and he doesn't have a name, like, I don't know how you do it in America, but that's insane. I know one couple, they didn't name their child until 2 weeks after he was born. I just don't get why people don't have names ready. You have 9 months or maybe even more than 9 months to figure it out. With my kids, I've always gone overdue over my due date. The only time I've ever struggled with names was my last son, and that we were debating, me and his dad were debating between 2 names. But as soon as you know what sex it is, I'm ready. With my daughter, I didn't find out what sex she was, so even then, I had girls' names prepared just in case it was a girl. You know what I mean? So I just don't get how people do not name their kids like that, or at least 2 weeks after. Like, you know what I mean? You're still just calling it baby, baby, and it's just like, come on, dude, do that child right and give that child a name. And obviously, I don't know what religion they follow, but usually, being Muslim or being a Christian, you get the child baptized or there's a naming ceremony. So again, you're making it official, you're devoting the child back to God. So the fact that this kid's just running around here with no name, I hope she's making that up. I'm like her. I've never been subscribed to them, but I have watched a couple of their videos. Again, she named all these interracial, couples that were big on YouTube, the OGs, Nikki and can't remember what the white Australian guy was called, Patricia Bright and her man, and then obviously Mezleen. Again, with a lot of them, I did watch. I am subscribed to Patricia Bright, but she has changed her content. Like she doesn't show her girls as much and her husband as much. Like she had to learn the hard way to become more private. But yeah, they've all kind of died off. Nikki's got a whole new man and her ex. You know what I mean? A lot of them are not even together no more like that. But yeah, with this woman, I knew she had one full black child because the daughter just looks just like her twin. But I thought all the rest of the kids were Malaysian. So to hear that she's got some with her ex-white husband and then the rest are Malaysian, I'm like, wait, what? Now I get. So the episode I did watch of them is when she was saying that her Korean mother-in-law doesn't like her. That episode was crazy. And then again, she had to apologize. Because people in the comments, like they were going hard. And the way the mother-in-law was treating her was wrong. Again, Asian families are very small. Most of the time, they just have a son and a daughter and they call it a day. The fact that, her son has got married to this black woman who's got a bag of kids. So even that, they look, she's a divorcee. So just little things like that, Asian parents frowned upon, but he obviously loves her and they've gone on and had loads of kids. You know what I mean? If your son wants to be with her, it is what it is. But I get it from the mother's point of view. Even if, like, when my son gets older, if he gets with a woman who's got a bag of kids, two different baby dads, and then you're just having loads of kids with her, I probably would turn around and be like, condoms are free, right? Well, yeah, from the clinic, they're free. Like, you don't need to keep having children. And you got to think his mom has grown up in a different time also as well. You've always got to take that into consideration. But again, she had to come out and apologize, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is crazy. I hope that baby's got a name because if that's the case, yeah, they have no reason to be having more kids. I'm sorry. Again, the youngest one you've already got, they need the attention, the care, they need a name, first of all. So it's just like, what are they calling him? Because, you know what I mean? My son's just turned two not too long ago. And obviously he's talking now, getting undressed, dressing. He knows his name. He responds to his name. So they can't just be not like, they're obviously calling him a nickname, even if it's not official. They're obviously calling him something because he needs to react. You know what I mean? He might be playing with toys. You need to call him something so he can turn around, look at you, talk to you. Listen, this girl better be lying about the name because that's pissing me off. And she made me laugh. Like she didn't want to. She clicked on it. She just, I think she read the description, but she didn't watch it. She didn't want to give them their views. It's like, don't bust me, because she was just like, they don't deserve it. They've not even named their last child, and this is what I mean. It's not just shame on the mother, shame on the father. Because you, as a dad, why have you not named your son? Like, even if you name him Junior, at least he's named after you and he has a name. Like, this is ridiculous. That name bit pissed me off, and I know she kept going back to it. If you're subscribed to them, let me know in the comments below, please, because I hope she's making that up.
My grandma had 15 kids. My grandma had 12 kids. My grandma had 9 kids. My grandma had 10 kids. Did she know? Did your grandma want 16 kids? Better question. How old was she when she started having kids? How old was grandpa? Huh? Huh, okay. That's what I thought. I know we all like to live in a world of just because grandma and grandpa are still together, or they were together until one of them died, that the relationship was happy. But if grandma would have told grandpa no, would grandpa have gone upside grandma's head? Hmm. Did grandma really have a say so in getting pregnant?
And she told no lies, not grandma having 15 kids. So I'm gonna speak on my grandma on my mom's side. So she has around 10 kids. You know what's so bad? I'm in my 30s. I've not even met all my aunties and uncles. Like, how bad is that? And this is what I mean. You have all these kids, but then the family's just not as close. It's bad. So a lot of them, so my grandparents, born and raised in Jamaica, they came over here during the whole Windrush. And then, so basically, some of my mum's siblings are in the UK, some are in America, kind of just all over the show. So yeah, there's like half of them that I've never met, and then obviously some still live in Jamaica. So obviously the ones in Jamaica I've met, the ones in America I haven't met. And it's just weird. We always miss each other. So sometimes I'll be in Jamaica, they'll be coming in, and as they're coming in, I'm going. So we always miss each other. But this is what happens when you have big families and everyone's just doing their own thing, you know what I mean? And then on my dad's side, again, my grandma, she either has 10 or 12 children. Again, I don't know all of them. Like, it's just life, innit? So, yeah, but I liked how she said, if grandpa didn't die, would your grandma still be with him? Or if she said no when it came to sex, would he not, give her the backhand? Like, again, it was different times. And I just feel like because black people were so oppressed during those times, all they could do is literally, you know what I mean? There's literally nothing else they could do. There were certain areas of the country or part of town they couldn't go, whites only, etc. All they could do is go home and, get jiggy with it. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think having this many kids is reasonable? And they're just populating the world. Like, we're already overpopulated, but some people that are very religious, they just see as, children are a blessing. This is God blessing them. You know what I mean, etc. Again, we listen, we don't judge. As long as all the kids are taken well cared of, and are just in the future don't come out doing no crazy documentaries. It's all good. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.